Oh, hello, Campbell Camp. What's up? Wake on up. Get the crust out your eyes. Leave the crust in your eyes. Whatever you want to do, it is that kind of day where you can do that if you want to. But make sure you get your coffee. Welcome to Coffee with Campbell. My name is Dejan Campbell. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for the love that you showed last week for the Thanksgiving special. Let's just put some hand claps in right there for that. Yes. And cut it. Okay. Before we get into this video, go ahead and make sure you give it a like, give it a comment, and subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you never miss a post. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drink my coffee while you do that real quick. You still doing okay. Well, Campbell Camp, as you know, COVID-19 has impacted so many lives. Just here in Texas, over 1 million cases have been reported, followed by the state of California. But today, I'm taking you to Georgia to meet Kelle Punch, a wife and mother who knows firsthand the impact that this virus can have on a life. I talk with her, and then later in the show, I talk with her family, who also experienced COVID-19. This is about a month ago you were in the hospital?
October 15th is when they made me go to the hospital. October 15th.
All right, so take you back to October 15th then.
Okay.
What was going through your mind? What were you experiencing physically, emotionally, mentally on that day?
I was in a panic because I felt nothing was wrong with me. And I was like, why are they trying to make me go to the hospital? I really thought I was fine. I wasn't feeling, like I said, any symptoms. I heard about the symptoms being nausea, headaches, achiness. I felt none of that. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. And I got so mad, and my daughter was like being, adamant. She was like trying to reverse the roles. She was playing mommy, and she was like, you're going to the hospital. So they took me to urgent care, and we went into urgent care. And the lady immediately said that I had COVID. She said my oxygen level was too low. It was like in the 60s, you guys, 60s. And it's supposed to be in the 90s.
So you didn't realize that you couldn't talk to your family, you couldn't have guests. You were just completely kind of out of it at that point, right?
Yeah, at that point I was like in shock because of what they're doing around me. I'm thinking I'm fine, and then here they are. They're getting ready to put me in ICU, and I'm looking at them like, what? And so they're getting ready to put me on this ventilator. And they said, the doctors and nurses came and talked to me after I recovered, but they said that I kept pulling the tubes out of my mouth as soon as they put it in, because this ventilator goes in that deep down your throat. To help you breathe. It's breathing for you. It's a life support.
Yeah.
So, but I'm unconscious, right? I'm pulling it out, and I'm fighting. They said I was fighting, and I was saying that you're not going to kill me. I'm not going to let you kill me.
So you have no recollection of this. This is what they told you. You have no recollection. Wow.
This is what the doctors came and told me, because they came, after I recovered, to my room. And they asked me, all the nurses and doctors were like, do you remember me? And I was like, no. And they was like, well, we were there early on when you were in ICU. And I was like, okay. And they were just telling me how I was acting. And I don't recollect any of that.
Do you remember anything about being in the hospital?
After I kept pulling the tubes out, they said they had to get permission from my husband to put me in a medically induced coma. Because I kept pulling the tubes out. Yeah. So they had to put me in this coma. So when I awakened from the coma, I guess the medication that they use to put you in a coma messes with your memory. So they were coming in. I remember them asking me all these questions, and I got pissed off because I couldn't answer them. They were like, do you know where you are? And I was like, no. Do you know why you're in here? No. What's your husband's name? Husband? And they were like,
I know your husband. I'm like, what?
I was like, husband? What's your daughter's name? And Kelle came to my mind. I said, Kelle? And she said, no, that's your name.
So you're in the hospital for almost a month. Was there ever a moment where you felt like things would not go back to normal? Were you ever fearful that you would not
Oh,
return
yeah,
to
every
life?
day, especially when they got me up and I couldn't walk. They got me up and I couldn't walk. I was like, what? I guess after being in bed for 3 weeks, not using, like my grandfather used to always say, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So
Hmm.
I thought about him. I was like, oh my God, I'm just laying up here for 3 weeks. I wasn't using anything, so I couldn't walk. I was so weak. And my family was calling me when I finally started taking calls from them. The phone was so heavy. But
Throughout that time, you mentioned you have therapists. You mentioned that your family was there when you would allow them to be there. What really got you through that time, though? Because it's scary. You're in the hospital for almost a month. You are you don't remember half the stuff that you remembered before.
well,
Yeah.
combination of my nurses,
Mm.
shout out to Northside Hospital and Atlanta's nurses. They were wonderful. I thought they were going to be, like I said, full half mat, hazmat,
Wow.
outfits and not coming close to me. And I'm like, they were there for me. They saw I was going into depression and they held me. They cried with me. They talked to me. They read the word with me. They made me watch TV even when I didn't want to. I was so depressed, lights off, TV off. They would come in, open the curtains, turn the TV on, would talk to me, and they really they helped me through that dark period.
How happy are you to be home? How happy are you to be COVID free?
I'm so grateful to God because there was so many people that didn't make it past the ventilator.
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, why did you allow me to make it? What am I supposed to be doing? So um, one of the things I know that I have to do is to give blood to the COVID patients that are suffering right now, because I have those antigens, the antibodies in my blood that that fought it off and won. So they want my blood in these patients to help them. So yesterday was my first day going to actually give blood.
You mentioned kind of going back to the normalcy of everything post COVID. Do you have any fears of going out now, interacting in public? Fears that you could end up back in the hospital?
Yes, daily I'm worried all the time that I'm going to end up back in the hospital, and even my heart hurts sometimes. It's like I have a heaviness on my chest, and I'm like, am I going to have a heart attack? Do I have to come back to the hospital? So yeah.
Now you mentioned your husband and you mentioned your daughter, and we want to talk to them with you on the other side of this break. We'll be right back. Coming up, I talk to the rest of the family, and later, Richmond Punch plays one of his greatest hits. We have Shayla. Of course, we have the Queen, Miss Kelle, and we have Richmond, who is Kelle's husband. Shayla is Kelle's daughter. So, Shayla, I'll start with you. We just spoke with your mom. She detailed her whole experience of COVID. How did you respond to her experience of COVID as a daughter?
I think I was very protective of her over her. As she kind of mentioned it, I felt like our roles kind of flipped, where I felt like I was kind of her mom now, looking out for her best interest. She was very sick in the beginning, and there were times where I really felt like this could be one of my last days with her. Like, I'm gonna lose my mom on this couch, like, because she wouldn't really get up and go anywhere. She wasn't really talking. Her symptoms were pretty bad. And I was just like, there's just a day where I went upstairs and I called my grandmother, her mom, and I kind of cried to her. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, my mom's really sick and she doesn't want to go to the hospital.
So Kelle said that she didn't really experience any symptoms. She was kind of wondering why you were taking her to the hospital. Was there something that you both saw that she did not see?
Most definitely.
I would say she was disoriented. I'm pretty sure she actually was hot at times. She did have some fever. She had some chills. Surely if it was in some kind of a mild context, then she wouldn't have thought like she said, she didn't think. But it was noticeable. And the aching aspect, I do know at night she couldn't sleep straight.
She also had like a really hard time breathing. She was very tired a lot, which I learned later with having low oxygen, it makes you sleepy. Like you just want to sleep all the time.
So Kelle, you weren't experiencing any of this.
I wasn't aware of it. Let's put it that way. I just knew I had chills, but anything else, I just thought I was acting normal.
In addition to the Queen, Kelle having COVID, you both also tested positive for COVID. This was after she had tested positive, right?
Yeah, we actually went to go get tested because my mom was positive. And we're in close proximity of her all the time. So we were like, we should definitely get tested. And we did. We went to CVS and came back with positive results. Mm-hmm. And I think after I saw the results that said positive, that's when I really realized, like, okay, I did have certain symptoms that I kind of brushed aside. Like I did have headaches. It wouldn't go away. It was like 3 days. And I just was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm hungry, maybe because it's something else. And my mom had really bad symptoms at the time. So I just like brushed it aside. Like whatever I was going through didn't really matter. Like as long as like she was okay. Do you have anything, Richmond?
Yes. Like I said, the fatigue, actually I performed somewhere after being hot, and after I finished the number, I had to go buckle at my knees and like kind of bend down, hunch over and catch my breath for a long time. What
did this experience teach you about the coronavirus, and then about yourself? And I'll start with you, Kelle.
First of all, it taught me that I'm the queen, but there's a king that's over me, and I'm not in control. And also, it taught me that I need to take care of my body better because of the fact that I was overweight, high blood pressure, borderline diabetic. COVID got me. So it tends to get the ones that are, unhealthy or elderly, the weak ones.
This virus teach you about the importance of family?
Sure, I really think a lot about how I believe it brought us closer, because having gone through something, there's ups and downs, but when you go through one of those to such a great extent, in this case, a virus that is affecting the world that tried to bring our family down, really harm us, and it likes to try to take people out, as far as their well-being. It really brought us closer. We were more in tune with each other. We are paying more attention to our physical, our well-being, our what we do there. A lot more awareness, and of course, we have something to be able to share with other people.
Shayla?
So just going off what they said, definitely brought us closer, and even closer with like our family. Our family has been there for us too, talking to them every day about the situation. So that's been great. Also working on fitness and the things that we eat, just changing that up a little bit more. And then also, I guess from my viewpoint as like a millennial, I guess, just basically putting other people like in consideration more. Like I think when I go out and stuff, like I'm not as like, I wasn't as conscious as I am now as to like the things that I do when I do have my mask on and off, kind of.
My last question, and it's probably the most important question on this show. Do you drink coffee?
Coffee with Campbell, yeah.
Oh my God.
But of course.
Richmond, do you drink coffee? Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes. I drink coffee with Campbell every day.
Shayla?
I don't. I like tea. But you know, I guess with Campbell, sure.
Coffee with Campbell.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, Richmond, we mentioned that you are a musician and you are fantastic at what you do. So on the other side of this break, we're going to have you perform one of your greatest hits, and that is Amazing Grace. So we'll be right back with Richmond Punch to close out the show here on Coffee with Campbell. Richmond Punch is a musician, and to close out today's show, he's going to play an uplifting song, Amazing Grace. Please put your hands together for Richmond Punch.